Back again, Elijah's Auto Repair. We got this thing cleaned out. And the best thing to use to clean this, if you see how clean it is in here now compared to when I did a video a little while ago before I cleaned it, is Dawn Platinum dish soap. I soaked it with the spray bottle, diluted it down with some Dawn Platinum dish soap, spray bottle, and some water. Soaked it, let it soak for about a good 15-20 minutes. Came back and I didn't even pressure wash it. I just rinsed it off with the water hose, and that's sparkling clean in there. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get to this. So what we have to do now is there's a mark down here. You see where it says TDC, and there's a little notch. I got that lined up. Now we're gonna have to line these up. We got a mark here. There's a mark here. It's got to line up here, and then there's going to be another mark on the pulley here. There's another mark here, and we're going to have to line it up here. So we're going to go ahead and get to that. I'm going to go ahead now and release the tensioner. There's 2 bolts on that. They're 13 millimeters, and then that'll release down the tension, and then we can go ahead and pull the belt off. So we're going to go ahead and start doing that now. Hopefully you guys could see a little bit better there. I tried to position this camera angle a little bit better so you guys could see. Hopefully it helped out. Okay, so down here, way down here under the tensioner, we got 2 bolts that are 13 millimeters. We're going to go ahead and loosen those. And that'll loosen the tension to the belt. This is the hydraulic, it's a hydraulic tensioner. We'll be able to take the water pump out, and then we can install the new water pump, the new valve, and reverse the procedure. Okay, so we got one more bolt here that holds that tensioner on. You should see the belt loosening. I just saw the belt loosen. Tension on that now. Should just come right off. We'll go ahead and take the rest of this bolt all the way out. Almost out. Okay, there's the tensioner. Okay, now we could go ahead and pull the belt out, and I'll show you guys what this thing looks like. I already did, but that way you can see it when I got it out. Okay, if we see that belt, and you see how the teeth are just right there is where the teeth just wore out. It's just a rubber belt. It only lasts so long. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna line these marks up. There's a notch here and a notch there. Now this one, the notches over here. So now we're lined up. Now I can go ahead and start taking these bolts off. It's got quite a few bolts around here. They're all 10 millimeter. Let me go ahead and grab my tray and set it over there. I'm sure we're gonna get quite a bit of water come out of that block as soon as this water pump comes out. I'm sure we'll get quite a bit of water come straight out the block. So I'm gonna go ahead and break all the bolts loose with the ratchet, and then I can just take them all off with the socket. Shouldn't be too hard. Set these bolts over here. I don't want to get them mixed up with these other ones. Okay. Some bolts it's got are longer than others, so you're gonna want to make sure and remember which sequence they go in. Before we try to take this water pump off, because we don't want to break anything. I think that's it. Now let me get a little screwdriver so we can pry that thing off. There might be one more bolt somewhere. Let's check real good. little bit bigger of a pry bar. Bigger screwdriver. Anyway. Well, it acts like it wants to come off. It's just stuck on there. There we go. Oh, it's got a pipe. It's got a pipe with the seal back there that it goes on. Which lights? There we go. Okay. It doesn't. It's just got. It was just stuck on the seal. Some of them go to a pipe with the seal, but this one is just stuck on there really good. Okay. So now we're gonna have to scrape that water pump. Get a scraper. You're gonna want to scrape any kind of gasket material, silicone. You're gonna want to scrape that area really good before you put this water pump back on. That way we don't get a leak. And we're gonna put a new gasket. It's got a little bit of sealer on here. We're gonna wipe that off real good. Sure that this sealing area is really nice and clean. Wipe it off with the rag. Just wipe it all down. Okay. Looks really good. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and spray a little bit of cleaner here on this rag. And I'm going to wipe down this sealing surface here on this water pump before I put the new one, just to make sure it's nice and clean. Okay, those are all the water pumps. Let me go ahead and get the kit. I got the kit here. And it comes with a new gasket, a new water pump, a new hydraulic tensioner. There's the new hydraulic tensioner. New water pump. New gasket, tensioner bearing, and last but not least, the belt, which is inside the box, which is weird. And there we go. There's the belt. And no instruction paper, which is not good, but I know I've done a bunch of these. I know how to line the marks up, so. Some of these belts come with marks on them, this one doesn't. But anyways, it's got one mark down here on the bottom, one up here on the top, one up here on this side. You just line all those up. Now we're gonna go ahead and put this gasket on this water pump and get this on. That way we can start reinstalling the timing belt. And I got the gasket on there. You're going to want to just push down on it to get it in there good. And snug a couple of these bolts down so that it holds the water pump in there nice and steady, and then I'll go ahead and start tightening the other bolts, getting the other bolts just started before we tighten any of them down, and thread them all in there just finger tight, and then we'll start torquing. There's quite a few bolts that go on here, so just take your time and don't try to pry on that water pump unless you're 100% sure you got all the bolts out. Alright, now we got all the bolts in. Gonna go ahead and hand tighten them all, then I'll grab the ratchet. We can start tightening them down like in a sequence pattern, get them all torqued down. I'm only using a 1/4 inch ratchet on this, so Now I can go ahead and start torquing the water pump. And I'm going to start on one side and bring it in real slow. And we're going to go back and forth in sequence. Torque down right. And again, I'm using a 1/4 inch ratchet. I'm not using a big 3/8 or anything like that. These are real tiny bolts. You don't want to break them off, and you'll find yourself in a whole world of trouble. Now we're going to go one more time. Start with the ones that we started from. And you can tell when we go in a sequence, those bolts will be loose. And I have to go over. Good, make sure it turns after you're done tightening it. Okay, all the bolts are tight. Now we can go ahead and take this tensioner here off. It's got a bolt here, it's like a 15. Let's see what size it is. 15. Go ahead and get that off, and then we can put the new bearing on here. Okay. Hold here. Let's get the new one on. Stuck the socket on there to get that on there because you'll never be able to stick your fingers in there and do it. Okay, now we can go ahead and put, I'm not going to put the tensioner yet. I'm going to put the belt now. So have to move that pulley back just a hair in order to get it right where I need it. Which is not easy because it's springs back on you. Let's see if I can. Yeah, these belts are kind of hard to line up. See if I can. It springs back on you really bad. Okay, let's see if I can get it right there. I think that's it. Let's see if that works. Mark's lined up. But this other mark's going to be the hard part. So let's go ahead and get the tensioner open. That to happen. Let me set this in here for now. I'm going to set that ratchet in there for now so I can grab these tensioner bolts and just set this in there because the belt wants to pull off. This has a little clip here. You're going to want to leave this in until you put it in. That way, this is what releases the hydraulic tensioner on there. Okay. So, I have to pull that pin back a little bit because it's too far out. You got to get that pin flush or it won't allow you to get it in there.
Let's go ahead and do that. Oh, I got pulled off. Let's go ahead and let's do that there for now. I got pulled off. Positions not done. Sure I got it lined up. Let's go ahead and get this tension on there. And to line these up, normally you got to put it one tooth either ahead or back. That way when you tension it, it takes up the slack. You just always make sure after you tension it, after it takes up the slack, the lines are still marked. Normally what I do is turn the motor over and make sure the marks are still lined up. We're going to check that right now. We're gonna make sure everything's lined up on here. Okay, there's one bolt on the tensioner. Let's go ahead and get the other one on there. Tight. Okay, now I'm going to make sure that all our marks are lined up. but it's kind of loose here. I think we're gonna have one not lined up. Let's see. Not that bad. Loosen that tensioner because it is a little bit off. One tooth. Everything's lined up. Everything's lined up really good. I can go ahead and pull the tensioner pin. Let me grab a pliers set for that. Okay, we got the tensioner pin pulled out. Everything's lined up real good. Everything's tight. Now we can go ahead and install the cover. And I got everything cleaned. So let me go ahead and grab the cover. this one kind of goes first, and then this other cover like goes in, like sets in there. So let me go ahead and get this one put on. And I'm not gonna tighten the bolts down. I'm just gonna kind of, snug them. And then once we get everything tightened down, we'll re-torque everything. There's 3 bolts on the bottom. I'm just gonna start these bolts a few threads, and then we're gonna get that top cover put in there, and then we'll go from there, because this cover's got it kind of goes like slides in there. It's weird. Okay. It's got it kind of slide in there, and then this cover slides over it, which is some just weird stuff. So let's go ahead and just put it back together and get it done. Okay. So quite a bit of bolts that go around here. And I'll start it, and then I'll get down to torquing it. A couple of nuts here on these studs. started, and then we'll get them torqued down. Dang it, dropped it again. Butterfingers over here. Okay. Real easy to do when you're working with one hand. It's just kind of tight in here. I'm just starting them all with one hand here. Okay. Let's go ahead and get these torqued. These are all 10mm bolts. I have a 1/4 inch ratchet. You don't want to get a 3/8 ratchet and start cranking these bolts down and just start snapping them right off. You want to make sure they're tight, but like I said, be careful. Okay, so all the bolts are torqued except for these two 15s. Let's go ahead and get those. Okay. Got all that done. Now we're going to go ahead and get the pulley on. Okay. Let's get that pulley on. Get that pulley up, that pulley on a little bit, just get the bolt to tighten it down. Might be able to. Okay, I found a little bit longer bolt, the same thread. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it into that real slowly. And then I'm gonna have to get on the bottom and hold the flywheel while I tighten it up here with this big ratchet. I think I do the whole thing from the bottom. I have the installer tool for it, but I don't think it will fit in here. So what I did is I just got a bolt, the same thread, a little bit longer, pull it in, and then I'll take that other bolt out. It's the same difference as a puller. yet. I'm going to go ahead and take this bolt out. Put the original one on. See, you can see it's the same bolt, just a little bit longer. It allowed me to pull it in. So now I can go ahead and tighten that one down. And then I'm going to start it. I'm going to go ahead and start it like this before I go any further, just to make sure this thing didn't bend no valves. I know these engines are interference engines, so we're just going to make sure, because if it bent the valves, I'm going to have to pull the heads and do a valve job and let the customer know it doesn't do no good to really continue any further. So I'm going to get underneath it. Let me go ahead and pick it up with the lift just a little bit. See if I could position this so you guys could see. Okay, now what I'm going to do is get down there. I'm going to hold the flywheel. Down at the same time. So see if I could. So I'm holding the flywheel. I was able to put a screwdriver in there. That way I could torque this bolt down the side. Got it loose. Okay. Now it's tight. I'm going to go ahead and try to start it. I'm going to make sure it's okay to start like this without a belt or anything. It's not going to harm anything as long as you don't run it for a prolonged amount of time. I'm just going to start it, let it run for a few seconds just to see if it how it runs. Okay, so I started the car up. I got it running. It's running good. It didn't bend the valve. Sounds really good. I'm going to go ahead and shut it off because I don't got no water in it or anything, but you could start an engine, let it run for a couple of seconds. It ain't going to hurt nothing. I'm sure I'm going to get a bunch of haters out there talking crap about that too. But anyways, I don't give a shit about the haters. But anyways, thanks. Thank you very much for watching my video. Subscribe, and for all you haters out there, just unsubscribe from my channel and don't watch them if you don't like my videos. I really don't give a shit. I don't do this for a living. I work on cars for a living. That's how I make my money. I do this to help people out just in case they want to do it for themselves. But anyways, Elijah's Auto Repair again. This is my 80th video I've already made within like about 4 months. So if you guys want to really learn how to work on cars by a real mechanic, ASC certified mechanic, subscribe and keep watching my videos. Thank you very much.